The Cincinnati Bengals have just changed the entire landscape of the AFC North by making a trade that honestly feels like a dream come true for us fans. Trading away the number 10 overall pick for a superstar like Dexter Lawrence is the kind of aggressive, win-now move we have been waiting for years to see. It signals a massive shift in how this front office operates, and the impact in the locker room is already being felt. Before we dive in, please subscribe and join our community for updates. Jason Kelce is someone who knows the reality of the NFL trenches better than almost anyone, and his recent praise for our newest addition should have every fan in Cincinnati absolutely thrilled. We are talking about Dexter Lawrence, the superstar defensive tackle, who is now officially a member of the Bengals after a trade that has sent shockwaves through the entire league today. This was a massive decision by the front office, as they decided to part ways with the number 10 overall pick in the upcoming draft to secure a proven game wrecker for our defensive line. It is a historic moment for the franchise because it marks the first time we have ever traded away a top 10 selection to bring in a veteran player, showing a level of aggression we rarely see from this organization. Jason Kelce spoke extensively on his podcast about how difficult it was to block this massive human being throughout his career. He mentioned that he felt incredibly lucky to have faced him when he was still a young player, before he had fully mastered all the veteran tricks of the trade. The legendary center described him as a dancing bear because of his rare combination of size and agility that makes him nearly impossible to mirror on the field. At over 340 pounds, he should not be able to move the way he does, yet he consistently destroys centers and ruins offensive game plans. Even when he is not racking up huge sack numbers, his presence alone changes the way an entire offense has to operate. Former defensive coordinator Wink Martindale used him as a focal point to create chaos, and now our coaching staff has that same luxury here in Cincinnati. This trade is not just about adding talent, it is about fixing a defensive unit that has been a clear weakness for us over the last few seasons. Hearing an opponent like Jason Kelce speak with such genuine respect proves that the Bengals hit the jackpot with this move. We have finally found the anchor we need to compete with the best teams in the AFC, and the impact will be felt from the very first snap of the season. This move changes our identity and makes us a much more dangerous team in the playoffs because we can finally control the line of scrimmage against any opponent we face in the coming months. Having a player of this caliber in the middle of the line does more than just stop the run. It transforms the entire geometry of the football field. When you have a massive presence who can eat up 2 or even 3 blockers at once, it frees up everyone else to make plays. Imagine our linebackers being able to run clean to the ball because nobody can get past the line of scrimmage to block them. That is the reality of what this trade brings to Cincinnati. He is a rare athlete who combines pure power with a surprisingly quick first step, making it impossible for offensive linemen to anticipate his next move. Many analysts point out that while some players rely on strength alone, he uses his intelligence to diagnose plays before they even happen. He understands leverage and hand placement in a way that very few interior defenders ever master. This impact will be felt most in the locker room, where the younger defensive players can learn from a true professional who has seen it all. We have spent so many seasons watching our defense get pushed around in the fourth quarter of close games, but those days might finally be over. The sheer exhaustion he causes for an opposing offensive line is a weapon in itself. By the time the game reaches the final minutes, the guys across from him are usually worn down and gasping for air. This gives our edge rushers a massive advantage when they need to get to the quarterback on third down. What if this is the final piece of the puzzle that helps us finally overcome those tough divisional rivals? We have the offense to score points, but we have desperately needed a physical identity on the other side of the ball. This trade provides that identity instantly. He is not just a space eater. He is a disruptor who demands respect from every offensive coordinator in the league. If he can stay healthy and maintain that high level of energy he showed in New York, we are looking at a transformed unit. The excitement around the facility is palpable because everyone knows that dominant defenses are built from the inside out, and we just landed the best interior anchor available on the market. The reason this trade is such a big deal is actually very simple to understand. It makes our team much harder to beat. In the NFL, if you cannot control the middle of the field, you are going to lose games. For too long, teams have been able to run the ball right at us when they needed a tough yard. Now they have to deal with a mountain of a man who does not give an inch. This move helps us win more games because it takes the pressure off our offense to be perfect every single week. If the defense can get off the field quickly, Joe Burrow gets more chances to put points on the scoreboard. It also means our defense will not be as tired in the final minutes of the game. When you have a player who requires a double team on every single snap, it means one of our other players is always going to be one-on-one. That is a recipe for success that leads directly to more sacks and more turnovers. We are talking about a season impact that could be the difference between a wild card spot and a first-round bye in the playoffs. The risk of failure is always there with any big trade, but the reward here is so high that it was a risk we had to take. Fans have seen great players come and go, but a truly dominant defensive tackle is one of the rarest things in professional sports. This move shows that the front office is finally listening to the fans and the coaches who have been asking for more grit in the trenches. It changes the vibe of the entire city because we now have a defense that people are going to be afraid to play against. We want to see those opposing quarterbacks looking nervous before the ball is even snapped. That is the kind of impact a superstar brings to a team that is already on the verge of greatness. By securing this veteran talent, we have solidified our foundation for years to come. It sends a clear message that the time to win is right now. Let us look at the two very different paths this could take for our beloved team. In the best-case scenario, this new addition becomes the heart and soul of the defense. He stays healthy, commands double teams, and allows our pass rushers to set new career highs in sacks. If that happens, we are looking at a defense that ranks in the top 5 in the league. We could see a return to the Super Bowl because our team would finally have no glaring weaknesses. Imagine the roar of the crowd at the stadium when he makes a huge stop on 4th and goal to win a game against a division rival. That is the dream we are all chasing. But we also have to be honest about the risks involved. If this fails, we have given up a very valuable top 10 draft pick for a player who is getting older and has a lot of miles on his body. If injuries start to pile up, we could find ourselves without our star defender and without a young rookie to build around in the future. That is the kind of disaster that can set a franchise back for several years. The pressure is on the coaching staff to make sure they use him correctly. They cannot just expect him to do everything on his own. They have to build the scheme around his unique strengths. We have seen big trades go wrong in the past for other teams, and the sting of those failures lasts a long time. The tension in the air this season is going to be higher than ever because the stakes have been raised so significantly. Every game will feel like a test of whether this was the right move or a massive mistake. The fans are hopeful, but there is always that small voice in the back of our heads wondering if things will actually work out. We have been through the highs and lows of being a fan for a long time, and we know that nothing is guaranteed in this league. However, the potential for greatness is so clear that you can almost feel it today. At the end of the day, the Cincinnati Bengals have made a move that shows they are truly serious about bringing a championship to this city. They traded a massive asset to bring in a player who is widely considered one of the best at his position. It is a bold, aggressive strategy that addresses our biggest need with a proven star who has earned the respect of legends like Jason Kelce. We can finally stop worrying about the interior of our line and start focusing on how far this team can go in the playoffs. But now I want to hear from you, the heart of this fan base. Do you think giving up a top 10 pick was worth it for a veteran like this? Or would you have rather kept the pick to draft a young prospect for the future? Be honest with me. Does this move make you more confident in our chances this season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you love the Bengals as much as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on. We have an incredible season ahead of us as we chase that ring together.